what is happening there. And that is a data quality control process. And so that we have here.
Do you have a sample of the tablet?
The tablets, yes. The tablets. And so we started first with the locality verification. Locality verification based on what was available for 2015. We wanted to see what has changed in the 5-year period in terms of the localities, because that's the main reason for going to the field again.
Is that what you call cartography?
Yes, but first to go and see. It's just to go and see.
Okay.
Go and speak to the department chiefs, the local authorities to say, look, can you give us names of the villages or settlements in your section and sign. So that's where we started from. I would want to take you a little bit back to the reason for really conducting this midterm census. When I started here in April 2018, Chief Minister, and I want to set this straight, that this census has the need for it completely 100% technical, the technical reason, and probably what other people might be saying, which is not true. This census was begged for by StatSL based on the technical need. So when I saw that I wanted to have the institution to share data and all of this, because we kept receiving letters from the public, from other institutions, and we could not share the data. So we said, well, what was happening here? I called my colleagues, and we realized that for some of the localities, or many of the localities in this country, we could not really give the fine details about that population. And it came out to be about 60% of that. So what I did, because I'm a person with a process person, I now spoke to UNFPA. I said, UNFPA, we have just conducted the census in this country, and it's 2018. I should be able to, as a new statistician general, I should be able to deliver this information, this data. But it's not possible. Can you help us bring the same consultant who supported the 2015 census to assist us? And this was in 2018. So it means that the process started about 3 years ago, or 3 or more years ago. So UNFPA brought that consultant with us, stayed there, worked with us for about almost 2 months. And the results, the report he wrote, which I have, is that you have to go back to the field. Okay, and then we looked at it. You have to go back to the field because we identified these are structural errors, what you would call anomalies in the census, which we should not live with for the next 5-6 years. No country should. If you can solve it, solve that, really good forward. So I saw that there was no need to wait for another 7 years before a census, before really correcting this. So, and now we also have the opportunity to use technology to solve this. So with that, again, I want to clarify to Chief Minister, if the problems we discovered were located in just one aspect, one area of the country, we would not have needed a census to do that. We would have gone straight to that area. Let us say the northern area or the south, and just would probably have collected that information. But the type 3 localities that we'll keep saying, and these are settlements, villages that you would need to put 2, 3, or 4 together for you to have an enumeration area. 60% of them means they are spread across the country. And if you are going to go back to the country 60% of the time, why wouldn't you just do everything? And with the decision to even do everything did not come from us. We had constituted a technical committee, and then we presented again to the technical committee. And the technical committee said, look, man, there is a justification for us to do all of this. Mr. Chief Minister, Madam Nabila Tunis was the minister by then, Minister of Development, Planning and Economic Development, we, together with the council, made a presentation to her. Said, this is what we have realized and this is what we think would be the best way forward. And then she was first taken aback. Oh, what is this? How can you do this? How are you going to do this? Then it means we now have to go and convince the presidency to do this, what you're suggesting. So this was the process.
You brought it to cabinet.
Then we had to even go to cabinet, and I presented to cabinet. And fortunately, I was able to convince the cabinet to support this. So it was not an idea that came from the other end to say it's from above, as you say, usually that we were dictated on. This was basically based on the technical thing. So we've done all of this. And what we've done, Mr. Chief Minister, we've done a cartographic mapping after all this. Digital cartographic mapping using satellite imagery, and we trained 1,200 cartographers, mappers. I'm sure people were saying, well, if you would spend 1 year, usually the normal cartographic mapping, you would spend 1 year to do, or even longer. We were going to do this in 2-3 months, or even less. And they were surprised. And it was possible for us to do that. The World Bank, we gave the data, the cartographic mapping data to the World Bank and to the technical team. They scored us very high. It's technically sound for us to do this. So that's what we did. And what people should know, if I can show this, even for the cartographic mapping, we use what we call the EAPAD. The EAPAD is a software that controls the mappers. If you are not closer to a building, or 20 meters, if you are more than 20 meters away from the building, you cannot map it. So what this means is that a mapper must go very close to a building. If we sent you to Mongol, and then there is a village behind Mongol, you would have to go there for you to map this. If you sent you to the mainland Bond, and some people were surprised to see StatSL mappers for the first time, because you must be there for you to map that village. It is impossible for you to map it. And even put the cartographic mapping aside, Mr. Chief Minister. Use this now for the enumeration of the population. Our enumerators, we have what we call a CAPI application, that we have a software that we. So if we are going to see in some areas we have to see more EAs, is because for the first time our mappers or our enumerators must, I use the word must be there. It's impossible for you to sit here and even map somewhere in Godbridge. It's impossible. With a paper, you can sit here and you enumerate, you write everything that you want to do. So this is the reason why this technology is going to help us.
So no more forgery of data.
No more forgery of data. And one thing that I want to assure you, Mr. Minister, Chief Minister, and my ministers here, is that what we have done and what we said we were going to do, that we have been able to achieve. And it was not easy.
Do you have a code from every day?
Every village, every, yes, we will give you the code. Even Warri has a code. So that is important, because that's what we said we wanted to solve. So if at the end of, like you are here today, if I tell you it has not been possible, then we would have wasted our time. But we have not wasted our time, and that's why we encourage our fellow citizens to really be there and be counted. We are not even saying stand up and be counted. We come to your household to count you. It's even more convenient. You don't have to go and form a queue to be counted. We come and count you. And you don't need to have internet at home. We must bring internet to you if you want to use internet. So there is no problem. Those who keep saying, oh, internet whatever in this country, you don't need to have internet. We have one of the best IT infrastructure you can find in Africa. For any National Statistics Office. We have spent limits in terms of data security, in terms of transfer, cloud servers and all of this. We are fully ready to do this. And when an enumerator is in the field somewhere in Konon or somewhere down the western area, we sit here and we are able to get that information. The dashboard that we talked about, Mr. Minister, gives us the opportunity to control. If there is, for any reason, there is an enumerator who syncs data on the server that we suspect is too out of normal. We have people all over the place, data quality people, we have supervisors who we will contact and say, can you really check that enumerator? We do not think what is coming from him or her is consistent with what we expect. So we are able to do that. And I'm proud, Mr. Chief Minister and Ministers, that we have consultants who are Africans sitting with us. This gentleman, Kwamina Leo from Yes. So we are proud to let you know that we have done this. And so the cartography, we have shapefiles, what you call shapefiles. We started the pilot successfully. The pilot sensors gave us the opportunity to see the joys and the tribulations of doing the sensor. Using the digital. Two groups, depending on your performance. Fortunately, and probably people don't like us because of that, we are a technical institution. You have to perform. You cannot be a supervisor if you do not perform. So every 15,000 individual has to see the thorough training in doing this work. But those who would perform extremely well become the supervisors. Because you as a supervisor must also know what you're going to do. So this is what we've done, and
they are currently taking their exams.
They are currently taking their exams. You see, and the exam that we give to these people, it's a live one. It's sent to you on your tablet, and you do it. The results, you get it immediately. So no one is going to complain that someone has done something wrong to get that tablet. So I also want to state, Mr. Chief Minister and ministers here present, that we set up, and that is key, we set up committees. We have not been doing this alone. We set up a technical committee that has been supporting us with the technical issues, and a census advisory committee. Yesterday we had a census advisory committee, and we had Dr. Richard Conte representing the APC, Dr. Bright representing the NGC, and we had several. We have the APA, and we had co-op, we call it co-op. Consortium of
progressive political parties.
They were also here, and we had that's new. So we had all of these people sitting here. So we want this has been inclusive. There might be divergent views, but it's inclusive. And what I would end up with before I ask my deputy to talk about the remaining activities of the census is that we did the cartographic mapping across the country with no issues. We have completed the census, the pilot census across the country, all over the
I wish you exalt thee. There must be free. Great is the love we should have for thee. Family, we should be united whenever we stand.
My name is Patrick Salia from Freetown, where we cover the impossible or untold stories.
The census, the pilot census across the country, all over the
when you have the Android tablet with you, no waste of time, then we have to these people who we go to the field have the census night is the night where we recognize a reference night. That's the reference night, which is extremely important for every census in Sub-Saharan Africa. You have to avoid duplications or omissions. You have to point back where did you sleep on the night of the 9th of December for you to be counted. That's the de-jure census. So when even at the tail end of the census enumeration, like the last day of the 14th day, you will have to reference people. So that's why it's extremely important for us to mark this day tomorrow with very important moments like having float parades or even having cultural activities. For the literate households, we'll ask you to name or write down, have a list of all those slept in your household on the census night on the 9th of December. So you always remember those people. It's like a photograph. You take a snapshot of all the people who slept in your household. So whenever you have an elevator on your doorstep, you always have to reference it. So to avoid duplications and omissions, that's what you have to refer to the extent that even if someone's of the census night, you have to even count the dead person because he or she slept there that day. And to understand that if a baby is born a day after the census night, assuming it's Thursday the census night, and the following day is the first day of the enumeration, if that baby is born because that baby did not sleep in that house at night, that baby should not be counted. Let's assume we have several. This is because we want to avoid for omissions and duplications. That's the beauty of a de-jure census. But remember, we do ask people that we should try to discourage census movement. Because in Africa and in most other places, people like to move back, like to Warima and to perhaps the Koa or whatever, for them to be counted here. The problem is, this data is being generated for economic planning and for other purposes. So if you go there and be counted, you have added to the number there. But when it's being, and remember you are coming back to Freetown or somewhere back. So if that statistics come back to the community planning, for example, schools, they'll be into schools here, you will not be there. That's the danger. But again, for us to make something very clear, we are doing a two-front approach. The de jure census and a de facto. The de jure covers this issue of census migration. So the first thing we do in census elimination is like we go to your household, tell us all those people that are usually reside in your household. That's according to the law, where you used to be. So we have two sets of population. The one we list of those living when they are present and those that slept from census might. So we have both data. Are ready for planning, assuming the development sector will be even traveling. They may not be your tomorrow.
And probably you should say this will be the first time we'll be doing
listing.
we will really do
Those who slept there.
Yes.
The resident population, the jury.
yes.
Exactly.
So how many people are in your household normally?
Normal.
5.
Yes, exactly.
Then we discuss it.
Exactly.
So who have it there?
Yes.
How many people slept in your household on the 9th of December?
That's the de facto.
So it could be 3 people, it could be the same.
Yes.
Because like even when we went to Parliament today, I saw some people say, oh, Malamo, because I wanted to continue at the village. We now know we will count you there because you slept there, but we will also have your information in Freetown.
Household resident.
So, you go to have two sets of data there,
Yes, sir. Because and it's possible using the electronic data.
Yes.
but the total population will not change.
No. We will tell you how many people were here. Okay. But in Western area, normally, these are the normal residents here. But when it came to counting,
include somebody out there.
yes.
The problem I'm trying to establish, I'm struggling to establish, the DG figure total will not be different from the factor.
No, it will be different because the de jure population is about a list of everyone that's in that household. The de facto is about those that slept there since we should not be everyone.
Okay, so
But together.
Yes. Yes.
So which of those figures, which one do you take?
Which one do we take? Yeah, we are actually taking the de facto population.
The de facto.
De facto, because we are doing a de facto census. But the jury will be always there for planning purposes. So like know the numbers of the households all over the country within the geographic region. Yes.
So that's important.
Yes.
I think
And the importance of the de facto is for us not to have omissions or duplications.
That's not going to be so significant when it comes to the total number across the country.
definitely.
You can expect 1 million people to move.
No, exactly.
To establish within the sovereignty of Sierra Leone,
Yes.
within the Republic of Sierra Leone,
Yes.
that number. So this is the total.
That's the total population.
Exactly.
So what for planning purposes would be important? Let us say that because many of us born in Warima are now in Freetown, and so now we want to go to Warima and be counted there. So let's say, and suddenly the number we're going to give you about the population of Warima who slept at the de facto 400 people. Many of them are children who need probably kindergarten. So as a result, your planning would say, oh, well, Warima, because of the change from 2015 to 2021, you have more kids there, so there is a need for a kindergarten there. But suddenly, when you go there, you build the kindergarten, the kids are not there, because we only took them there to be counted. They are actually in Freetown. So if you know this information, you will definitely not build a kindergarten in Warima. So these are the things that we can, those details we cannot provide using the digital sensors.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, so we have two different sets of population. So the navigators or the field staff have been adequately trained to make sure they implement all this we've talked in terms of having all those indicators in the questionnaire. By the way, all the GIS resource and questionnaires have been loaded on this tablet, and we have accompanying accessories like
How many models do you have there?
This one, the tablets, we have over 20,000 of them.
No, for the model, the question.
All the questionnaires, yeah, it's about about 30 or so. Yeah, because we have a different panel. We have the household panel. Then after that, you have the agricultural section. You have the health. Exactly. You have even the current disease where the COVID. The questions on the COVID disability is also there. Yes.
You have to be careful. You're talking to a researcher.
Oh yes. Oh yes, exactly. So a wide range, and Chief Minister, you would like to also know that these various variables or indicators were determined by the technical committee, which has different schools of people from health, education, agriculture, universities, the disabled. We all decided this together, the international community, and it's based on the needs we have. So they have been adequately trained to go out in the field and administer this questionnaire for us to have the required data we need. So having moved away from that, because this data obviously you go to the house, it's to the server, it's being received, and also it will be showed on the dashboard. By the way, we are going to have what we call a situation room. Yes, where we sit in this room and monitor what is happening in the field in terms of the indicators that are coming. We did for the pilot. All we are doing now is like waiting from the pilot results we have. So every day on a daily basis for the 2 weeks or even more, you have find time to come and join us one day to see exactly what is happening in terms of synchronizing the data back to the server here. The beauty is, before now, you have to come with this hard paper questionnaire, you know better than me. You have to enter this, key in this for nearly 6 or 8 months before the result is out. Now it is almost ready, because even the dashboard we are talking about is like generating the analysis almost immediately. So that's the beauty. Between the end of the mission and the report writing, of course, the launch by His Excellency yourself and other stakeholders. That's the beauty. So thereafter, the analysis will actually happen. Then we have, of course, the report writing. Then after the report writing, we have what we call the post-enumeration tests, which actually tests the content and the coverage, assessment of the main census data. That actually tests how accurate our figures we are doing the main census, or even the content issue we are talking about. So, when we are done with this, then we now know actually we have a census we can trust. Then, of course, we have elaborate sensitization of product. Make sure we disseminate it to politicians. That's the time they want it. What they do with it is really out of the realm of StatSL and even researchers and all of this. So we have to mount up a whole lot of publicity on these whole issues to make sure it's being used by the populace. By the way, you probably are hearing all over the gorillas and all our publicity issues out there. We are making sure we have the census. Mr. Chief Minister, Honorable Minister of Planning and Deputy, members present here at the 4th Estate, I can assure you we are ready to move and we are fully confident that we can deliver a census worthy of the country of Australia and for you to trust them to use for the development process until we have the census. Thank you so much and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. So just before I hand over back to the ministers, there is one important thing that I also want to state here, Mr. Chief Minister, the issue of persons living with disabilities. When I came to StatSL in 2018, and I started hearing the issues that they were not properly counted or whatever it is, etc. We have listened to them. And because they are also part of the technical committee, the module for disability that we've used is different. And the module that we have used is based on the Washington Group. Okay, there's lots more questions that would really give us credible data and more information about persons living with disabilities. But I want to also make very clear to the many groups of how do you call them, the civil society groups. It is not a census cannot answer every little question on disability. You may now have to do a special survey on those. The module that we have introduced would really solve many of the issues that the 2015 questionnaire did not handle. But again, if you want to drive down into the very little aspect of disability, as I keep telling the groups, we have to come back here and write specific proposals for those. do specialized survey.
I would like also
Exactly. Yeah, we can do that.
Exactly.
labor force survey.
Labor force survey and the others. Then we can
All the surveys you have just listed.
Of course, exactly.
And I think that is really good for Sierra Leone.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you very much, Chief Minister.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Sako. Thank you very much, the team, for joining. I must say, I feel highly impressed. But I'm not surprised. Those who know Malamo Bongologi, yes, knows this one of the best African can provide.
Oh, yes.
And I definitely was that when you got to explain, struggling to explain how you started, I think he came about was in cabinet, so I know exactly what happened. I know for sure it was there by influence, but Sierra Leone is an interesting place. Okay, you know, and that's the beauty of democracy. A lot of noise around.
Yeah, that's true.
But as President normally says, stay focused. Can you just please as President Bill normally says, stay focused. Keep our eyes on the ball. The ball is to count everybody. Just stay focused. Forget about the noise, the mess will go around. And I like the way you bring it. As a government, we try to depoliticize this process as much as possible. That's why from the political point of view, we never pick it up that. But again, let's forgive those who have created the noise, like coming out with credible data. The reason why we should forgive them, not the understanding levels are different from person to person. I mean, some people only think census is meant for elections. I think that's something that really bothers me a little bit. People should understand census is meant for community-based planning. If you want to do like what you will say, you want to do the development of Warima, you need all the thing about Warima, all the demographic characteristics of Warima to know. How many girls are there, how many youths are there, how many elders are there, how many houses are there, what's the size of Warima, every other thing. If you don't have that information, you cannot do community-based planning for Warima. You can use census for district level planning. Until you get that, you can use census for sector planning, education planning, health sector. You're really saying that not more than 10%
We believe that every story from any ethnic boundary is important to us because we seek the news with all our zeal and our might.
We go anywhere to uncover and analyze the impossible.
What you said, you add something you said about your IT infrastructure. Yes, that you have built your IT infrastructure and the dashboard mechanism seems like a quality control measures. I'm also pleased about that. And the consultants are there. I don't think these guys in their mind want to do the wrong thing. So if I should ask you, are we going to have the midterm census? Are you prepared?
Yes.
Confident? So they should come to you when there's a problem?
Yes, definitely. And I believe proactively we can sense problem.
Commissioner, you will not go on to Ghana, you stay here. I just came from Accra 2 days ago.
And they did their own census.
Yeah, no.
Same digital census.
Yeah.
So you're confident?
Very confident.
Yeah.
Very much, Chief Minister, we are confident.
Yes. Mr. Coordinator, you are confident?
Very much, yes.
I trust that. Well, as I said, as long as you are confident,
Yeah.
we as politicians are confident.
Okay.
We go out there and say we are confident. We are sitting at the State House and say we are confident, we must come to you, spoken to you.
Yes.
We were a little bit hesitant.
Oh, no.
Someone wanted to interview me and I said, wait a minute, let me just go and say things out there, let me come and say. You know, for our government, the talk can do government.
No, yes.
The talk can do, you need to.
And I had advised President already.
Yeah.
He has made the pronouncements.
Yeah.
And as you say, we follow up and make sure it's done.
Exactly. That's my responsibility to follow up.
We focus on the delivery.
Yes. This is a government process. I track the delivery of government process.
From the Diamond Ridge district of Kono in Koidu, Semel City, my name is Dauda Kamara.
This is Switchbowl, second capital of Sierra Leone, popular for its quality Gary production, and the leader in cleanliness. In Amende local dialect, when we say Bolo, it means this is yours. My name is Abdul Fattah Bundubai Kamara.
This is the Rokel River, which is not only useful for many domestic purposes for communities around here, but also runs through the Bumbuna Hydroelectric Dam that provides electricity.
This is Savage Pits, situated in Tumbudu Town, Kamara Chiefdom, where the heirs of dozens of people that were killed in the decade civil conflict in this part of the country were dumped.
My name is Joshua Sapichikon.
From the heart,
The IT people, things were reduced from months to days. And this has been really the beauty of the census. I think even the water land from it. Yes, so it's really very important. And I think, I think SG, you know that very well. That, they were thinking long time. Days,
even for the
months,
yes.
Even for the provision. Provision it took how long?
In less than a month.
Less than. And they said
7 days. Less than 4 days.
They said 3 months. So we have to launch this. So it's not only Sierra Leoneans learning, but even with some of the experts. Yes.
But more importantly, it's about the skills transfer.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I'm confident you have mechanisms in place that these skills these guys are going to stay around.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, Mr. Chief Minister.
Yes,
I've spoken to ECA for this in particular, especially the tablets provisioning issues and the development of a dashboard. And of course, this guy has been working with Theo. But I really would be remiss, Mr. Chief Minister and Mrs., if I did not give, even if it's a second opportunity, to the National Census Coordinator to say a few words, because by way of closing, usually we take the credit for all of these things, but these guys are our field soldiers, so, and he is coordinating. So, and there is Abdullah Brahman.
Thank you very much, SG, and good afternoon all. And Chief Minister and all ministers present here, now that we have given you the technical confidence that we are ready to actually start the enumeration by the 10th, I also want you to address the which issues that are coming up from the field. As National Census Coordinator, giving all the badges from the political parties, our enumerators who are currently taking exams, they are a little bit scared to go to the field. I had calls from several locations this morning. They are telling me that, Director, do you really think we are safe to go to the field to collect data? So now that you are Chief Minister and the key person in the government, we also want you to give us the confidence that our enumerators will be protected if they get to the field.
Yeah, to be protected. I mean, everybody I'm sure will learn them taught. I don't think anybody else does. I mean, that should be good at this law.
Yes,
if you go outside census and deal with you as a common criminal.
Oh, yes, exactly.
There's a state. This is the society. You
And I
don't run after people.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with them? To run after them, to move from your house? Then you're not counted. When you're not counted, you're not provided for. Yeah. That's your own responsibility.
My objection to that was the law is clear. If you obstruct,
exactly. The penalty is also very clear.
It's in the law.
Yeah. And as a follow-up on that,
no, we even use higher laws than that.
So exactly. The IG, in preparation with that, and the Deputy Inspector General of Police just called all the LUCs in the country today to a meeting, and my Director of Operations was there. All the LUCs they need in terms of contact numbers and everything have been given. So they are well prepared for this.
They're well prepared. I spoke to ONS yesterday.
Yes. Okay.
As a matter of fact, we have got an assessment which I was privy to when I was in Accra. You sent it to me.
I sent it.
I
actually requested.
Yeah, you requested. Remember, you sent it to me. I sent it to the system.
Yeah.
You did an assessment. I got the report yesterday. You know, they took the necessary actions. All the things you're talking are coming from what you requested.
Okay.
So you should be fine.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you very much. The Chief Minister will only take 2 questions on the screen outside.
Capital of Bomali district, which is popularly known for its Gara tie-dyeing. I'm Hassan Fore Kamara in Makeni City, and this is SLBC.
December 2021, I've been assured technical grounds, logistics-wise and every other thing, and I'm assured because the government has provided the needed resources as well.
Now, speaking on inclusivity, the Statistician General mentioned that several political parties or consortium are also in on the process. But as you know, the main opposition is calling for a boycott. What do you have to say on the process itself and how inclusive it is? And are you confident that everyone is on board, even though you have the main opposition party withdrawing out or calling for a boycott?
It's regrettable. I expected them to be a mature political party. They did census 2015. They did their redistricting, their bandit delimitation. They still lost the election. We defeated them in the elections. Even when they messed around the census, we tried to correct their own wrongs. So if they decide to boycott or whatever, it's regrettable, but the fact you made the census has to go on.
And lastly, what will be your general call to the citizen?
The citizens should stay focused, listen to the pronouncements. The statistics challenge is ready. Stay home to be counted. It's important that you are counted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.
SLBC is the true voice of Sierra Leone because we are the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation.
My name is Abdul Karim Kano in Magoroka, headquarter town for the iron ore-rich districts of Tonkolili.
This is SLBC.
This is the SLBC.